The time has finally come, you think. You open your computer and you download Visual Studio, which is one of the best IDEs you have heard, and that it would help you a lot in your programming career. Although you have no idea what an IDE means or how it would help you, you download it anyway. You open it and you type your first line of code. But when you try to run the program, nothing happens. You spend a whole hour trying to figure out what went wrong, but you can't find it. The only thing that you can see that is different are the colors. Your line of code is white, and the line of code that you see in the video has lots of colors. What went wrong, you think? You spend hours searching on Google what went wrong, why you can't run your program. And after a lot of hours, it clicks. You haven't named it correct. You have probably given it the name test, first program, hello world. And that's where you're wrong. If you are writing a Python script, you need to name it, for example, test.py. You finally figure it out. You feel relieved, but also a bit stupid. If it took you so many hours to find out how to name your project, how many hours would it really take you to learn programming? You delete those thoughts. They don't help you in any way, so you continue watching your tutorials. Everything seems to go fine. You learn variables, for loops, while loops, lists, functions, methods. You feel very confident. You see all those colors, and every time that one of the tutorials ends, you copy and paste the code. You think that you're making a lot of steps forward at every single tutorial that you watch. But then, in one of the tutorials at the end, the tutor asks you to create a project that does a certain amount of things, and it uses all of the knowledge that you should have at this point. And then you understand it. You don't know anything. You don't remember what variables do, functions, lists, methods. You don't know anything. And that's where most people stop. They decide that they can't learn programming in any way. All those videos that they watched on YouTube saying programming is easy, you just need to learn, put hours into programming and you will finally do it. You think that that doesn't work out for you, that you can't do it. And that's where you're wrong. Just think about it. How much time have you spent learning? 0. You haven't spent a single hour really learning anything. You have probably spent hours watching tutorials and keeping nothing out of them. If you just copy and paste the code, there's no way that you will ever learn. But most people don't understand that. Those who do are about to go into a difficult and big road. If they make it to the end, there's a big career waiting for them. This is the point that you understand that the road is not going to be easy for you or for anyone. All those videos that you watched that they were saying, for example, big tech companies and people that work there, they were saying, I started by printing that, then doing all of that stuff. Seemed easy to you when you watched them. But now you understand that to get to the point of knowing coding and playing to your hands is not something that you're even close to. So you restart the tutorials, everything from the start. But this time, when you learn something, you try and create your own examples. You learn variables, you're going to do something with them of your own that you just thought that you could do. You see that everything now looks a lot harder. You don't just copy and paste the code. You have to think about it every single time, stay focused on the tutorials so you can after that create your own examples. But that's only the start. You start feeling very confident. You know all those things, even classes and objects. And you can do whatever you want with them. So now you can finally create your own idea, right? Well, think about it. What have you learned at this period of time? You only know how to make things in a black box with only letters. But you probably want to create a game or a website. How does those things that you learned help you with that? And the truth is, they don't, in the most part. You know how programming works, but in your mind, you know nothing. That's when you fall into this trap again, or the trap of your mind, because now you have really made steps forward. You know programming at a really good level, but you think that you know nothing. In your mind, you only know how to make things appear in a black box, or how to make letters appear in a black box. That's the problem, you say. I have chosen the wrong programming language. You have heard all of those things about programming languages, and you feel so stupid of choosing Python, for example, because you can't do anything with Python and, for example, create your 3D game or your website. You think that you can't do it. Something is holding you back every single time. And that's when you might take a break. And this is probably the best idea. You need to think, do you really want to become a programmer? If the answer is yes, you will come back. But you will have done your research at that point. You will know what programming language you want to learn and which IDE you really need, and if you need one. You start building your idea. Everything goes fine. And that's when you understand why you needed variables, functions, loops. And you feel thankful that you learned them. Because now everything is easier for you. So you start creating. Let's say a game. You do the player movement and you add some small things. After months, you run the program to see what you have done, and you understand that you have done nothing. All those months of work, of hard work, were for what? You say a 2D game that is not even playable? And that's when you fall into this trap again. Do you see where I'm going with that? This is a cycle. Every time that you think that you know a lot of things, you come to the conclusion of knowing nothing. But that shouldn't bother you. In fact, if you put some time into programming, a lot of time, then you will get used to this cycle. Every programmer knows that. They know nothing. every good programmer knows that. In fact, you don't know nothing and I don't know nothing compared to programming. You could start learning when you was born till the day you die and know 2% of programming. Programming is massive, you can't know anything. There's no way. What you should do is knowing how to learn. And when you can't learn, it's okay to copy paste or ask. Ask to learn, and that's the most important thing. At some point you will know most of the things that you want for the topic that you chose. For example, game development or creating websites. Hey, are you still here? If you are, I just want to say a big thanks to you for supporting me with watching this whole video. You see, in YouTube, if you watch a whole video, you give watch time to the creator. That helps him a lot. So thank you if you watched this video. But if you want to help me even more, you could press that like button and also subscribe to the channel. Peace.